Dancing at Lughnasa is easily Brian Friel's most widely known play, thanks to the 1998 film adaptation starring Meryl Streep, Michael Gambon and Kathy Burke, and many more. If you've not seen the film, you may not know the story. If you have seen the film, you still may not know the story. And if you see this new production, well, you can probably guess you may not be that clear either. With Brian Friel play, storylines are never the priority. You don't go to see a Friel play to be entertained. Friel doesn't write story, he creates atmosphere, unwritten subtext and a plethora of symbols. You go to be titillated by his literary prowess and to bathe in feeling intelligent for so doing. If that's your thing, you've probably already booked your tickets to see this new production directed by Josie Rourke. Former artistic director of both the Bush and the Donmar, Rourke has just recently directed Lemons, 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 Lemons. Central to the theme is language, so we can be sure Friel's work is in very safe hands here. For those who don't get off on preparing for post-show literary discussion, there's plenty of visual stimulus here too. Robert Jones's design maintains the intimacy of what is a one-set play, and that could be easily lost on a stage as vast as the Olivier. The kitchen setting where the action takes place is rich in exquisite detail wherever you look. Surrounding the house is a mass of rolling countryside that seems to stretch off far, far into the horizon, protection from and exclusion from the outside world. And there is a stellar ensemble cast here too, of whom half have been lifted straight off the set of Channel 4's Derry Girls. The fact that they have this working history must help, because the interaction between them feels truly familial. Small touches and love makes their bond really, really true. Friel summarised this play as being about, I quote, a family, a priest, my father, family life, make-believe for the past, betrayal and groping towards love. Not overly succinct. It is autobiographical, kinda. Friel himself was born in 1929 in a small Irish hamlet. He spent many childhood summers with his mother and her 4 unmarried sisters, all of whom apparently doted on him. Here the year remains the same, 1936 with a child of 7. The village becomes the fictional Ballybear, from the Irish, meaning little town. The 5 sisters become Mondays. His mother becomes unmarried, and Friel becomes Michael, who, as an adult, here narrates this story as a snapshot of one summer, but as he remembers it. The play is widely referred to as a history play, a term usually used for Shakespeare. It means that the depiction of the time is as important as the story being told, which rather suits Friel's style. Think of it like spending a few hours flicking through an old photo album you found in your grandparents' loft after they've died. Though the Monday sisters don't have much money to speak of, they joke, banter and argue, and, no spoiler, they dance. The dancing is, of course, symbolic. Each sister comes with their own distinguishing character trait. Sort of like the Spice Girls, but Irish, and with different adjectives. So let's run with that. We have Scary Monday, Kate, played by Justine Mitchell. who recreates the God-fearing homekeeper role she played in 2019's Rutherford and Son, though she swaps her Yorkshire accent for an Irish lilt here. Next we have Hopeful Monday. Chris, as played by Alison Oliver. Chris is lifted from her heavy depression by rare visits and the empty promises made by Michael's father, Jerry. Then Agnes is Frustrated Monday, played by Louisa Harland, suppressing lust for the same Jerry by knitting socks, and playing mother to Baby Monday, Rose, tenderly portrayed here by Blathen McGavin. Rose has some non-specific developmental disability, and this gives her a naivety about the real dangers of the real world and of real men. And then finally we have Wacky Monday. Maggie, played by Siobhan McSweeney. Optimistic realist and strong of will, Maggie is the only sister able to overrule the matriarchal Kate. She is the peacemaker of the Monday sisters, always ready to douse tensions with a joke, a wink, a riddle and some freshly baked soda bread. McSweeney is always on, always playful, hinting at a zest for life that she suppresses, perhaps for fear its release would just lead to a crushing disappointment. Individually, the actors show a depth to their characters which carries them from comedy to poignancy with strength and with vulnerability. No easy option of playing the victim here, but when together, the bond of sisterhood is way more believable than a Spice Girls press junket.
If you wanna be my lover.
Three things happen during that summer, not on paper at least. Jerry pays her a surprise visit, twice. He talks of a new job and new plans, he makes new promises, he flirts with both sisters, he attempts to fix the radio, he dances. Natch. Tom Riley's Jerry is a harmless, lovable fool. Ostensibly Welsh, here he resembles a posh camp extra from Made in Chelsea. Then the sisters' only brother has returned from Uganda where he was doing missionary work. Father Jack is his name, and he arrives confused and in poor health. But as his mind becomes clearer, so does his favouring for the paganistic rituals of the Ugandan tribe. Ardal gives the occasional glimpse of that Father Jack in this Father Jack, with an innocence to his storytelling, unaware of the fear that he is hammering into his Catholic sisters. The third event, the arrival of the battery-operated radio, Marconi. The radio gives sporadic bursts of music, like a siren call to the young girls, still alive but deeply hidden behind the hearts of the grown sisters. In other plays, these would be the plot elements that lead to the uncovering of a dramatic truth, confrontation, arguments. But not here. Here they just happen. That's not strictly true. Michael's narration gives context, prologue and epilogue, but the structure is not shown in the play proper. Tellingly, the events of the poignant ending of the story are told to us by this narration before the ending of the play itself. So, back to the original question. What is Dancing at Lughnasa all about? Well, in my view, stylistically it's an illustration of memory, but from what psychologists call the remembering self, which are memories that are triggered by how we felt at a certain time, rather than the experiencing self, which recollects the logistics of what we did at the time. Thematically, it centres around change. Everything represents change, themes of paganism, desire, sexual awakening, and ultimately the Industrial Revolution. The impact, huge impact, both on the country and on the people who lived there, is symbolised by the radio, which is positioned centrally throughout. Hopefully that should give you enough for a quick soundbite if you're caught leaving the Olivier in the lift with an unsufferable bore. Unless of course you are that unsufferable bore, in which case you don't need my help. This is a solid piece of theatre, there's no doubt. The languid pace may cause drowsiness in some, especially by the end of the 90-minute first act, but it's not like you'd miss any crucial plot points if you did happen to rest your eyes for a moment or two. The design is striking, the direction subtle, and the quality of performances sublime. I guarantee that this National Theatre stint will turn out just to be a pre-West End transfer run. Seeing it reminds me of luxuriating in a long bath, a very satisfying way to spend 3 hours, but nothing you would remember well enough to describe in any detail. Oh, and by the way, that guarantee, it's not legally binding.